Why should we be even thinking about all these things? UPSC won't ask such questions, right? So in federalistic point of view, if you think we have moved away from Congress system of government to multi-party to coalitions to single party again. So Rajni Kodari says that India had a Congress system of government till 1960s, right? Yes. Then we went to regional parties. After regional parties, coalition governments. Coalition governments, advantages, disadvantages. Then again we are coming to single party system. Now again is up bringing that regional party systems. So like this, are we going through a cycle? See, anti-incumbency will always play a role. Next, if caste actually played a role, do you think BSP would have won just one seat? Bahujan Samaj Party, okay, it is one of those political parties which is clearly created for upliftment of marginalized sections of the society. Yes. So even the vote share have come down,
but they are not the only caste that's there in society now. Consolidation of caste has happened.
Isn't it more than caste? It's a religion based.
BSP is for SCs, right? Scheduled caste, Mayawati. Whereas MIM is for Muslims. Optional. Okay. For weak opposition. I don't even. Okay. So caste is playing a role in India today.
So BSP is not the only party that is representing the
Okay.
There are other SC leaders are there in other parties also.
Tell me 5 SC leader names and 5 Muslim names or 5 Muslim leaders. National level.
Keshav Prasad Maurya. And
Asayuddin OIC. OIC brothers. Then Naqvi. MJ Akbar. But is still a party member. So what is the percentage of population for Muslims in India?
around 20%.
What is SC percentage?
It's around 15 to 20%.
Around 16%, 17% of the population. So that means around 37% of the population do not have a proper political consolidation or representation. Yes, that is one way to think about it. So you can say that BJP is trying to capture this, or you can also think that there is lack of proper leadership from those respective communities. Simple thing is, this is called as social engineering. What BJP has smartly done is to give representation to subcastes within those castes. As you rightly pointed out, BSP is not the only party representing scheduled castes. So within scheduled castes, there are subcastes. So what BJP will do is it will social engineer. That means it will identify the leaders from the grassroots levels of those particular communities and give representation. That is why it's a entire representation. So in that sense, this caste-based politics directly, like only caste-based politics time might have gone up. So social engineering plus development is the new agenda. That is what BJP is doing, right? And the winning margin will be always be 1,000 to 500 votes. Who will take away the 500 to 1,000 votes? This caste-based politics. Okay, so this is something that you have to remember. Okay, in India, still caste plays a role for development, but development is a primary agenda. Even after 70 years, if your village is not having electricity, and states like Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Bihar, these are the states which are yet to reap the demographic dividend. They have not yet reaped the dividend. So the youth of those areas will definitely demand development, employment. Caste is not a single dominant factor in Indian elections any longer. It plays a role, but not the macro role. And second thing, if people are not demanding the what? Development as a primary agenda, then things won't work out. Okay. and Aam Aadmi Party as an alternative. Again, opposition is very important for democracy. From constitution point of view, democracy point of view, if you talk about it, opposition plays as a role of checks and balances. Opposition has to ask the right questions. So if there is no proper opposition, then accountability will be less. All the rules in the world, like for example, parliamentary committees, CAG reports, and all these things won't work unless there is a strong opposition. So even for democracy's sake, we need opposition.
Sir, one
Yes,
question.
please.
The Suhas Palsekar article in Indian Express. He was talking about, he was basically blaming the electorate for BJP's victory, sir, in a way. I think, isn't it a reflection of our urban mindset where we don't understand what the people,
At
I mean, at the grassroots level really resonate with? And is it right to blame the electorate because they are making their own choices?
Definitely.
So, are we trying to impose our views on the electorate by saying something is right and something is wrong? Because most articles today in Hindu and IE were basically criticizing the electorate in one way or the other. So, I mean, though they have, in a democracy, we should respect what the mandate has been given rather than saying that that mandate is not right or, I mean, the kind of articles which I read today were more blaming the electorate. So what should we think about that?
What is the takeaway? First of all, it's don't hate the person, hate the policy. So people have people have made up their minds to hate BJP, right? So it's something that is not digestible. Okay, so see, as a human being, we have a bias, right? I know Congress or Aam Aadmi Party or BJP. So it is not that easily digestible. If tomorrow, see, honestly speaking, if you think about the overall nation, people have to make their own choices. And Indian electorate is always smart. That means they actually know who is going to bring the development. See, Congress or BJP were the very strong players in Punjab. Suddenly they brought in the nobody even know half of the MLA's names. Still, Aam Aadmi Party was given a huge mandate, as big as the Akali Dal plus BJP mandate in '97. So in '97 they got 93 seats. After that, only Aam Aadmi Party got 92 seats. So people clearly know that what is the problem of that particular local area, and they will always appreciate it. And point number two, definitely grassroots level, BJP is doing administrative work. Nobody can deny that. Changes are being brought out. If you list out all the things that have been brought out by the BJP government, there is development in UP. As I keep saying, if you take the Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, there is not a single group 1 exam in the last 4 or 5 years. But if you have seen UPPSC, Uttar Pradesh Public Service Commission exam, in the last 3 years, that means from 2018 December till date, they have conducted 3 services, three cycles of exam with around more than 2,500 posts filled. Okay, so we may not see it from that point of view. We always think, BJP is about Hindutva. See, that is pure marketing. BJP is packed in Hindutva package, but underlyingly, they are delivering something to the people. That is why they are still winning. So that is one takeaway. And as usual, all the media will, even India plays it Chennai, right? The Punjab Chief Minister candidate. Nobody knows who he is or what he is right now. So think about all this. How is it going to change the system? Should we have more clean parties like Aam Aadmi Party without any baggage? See, Congress is purely baggage. If anything I say, let's say for example, Operation Ganga, people will compare it to Congress. Congress have done this. Surgical strike, Congress have done this. So Congress and BJP are parties with baggage, right? So probably Aam Aadmi Party is something without a baggage. So it will have more moral authority to criticize the Congress government. See, if someone criticizes Prime Minister Modi for 2002 Gujarat riots, what will BJP respond with? 1984 Sikh riots. So that means Congress is having a baggage. So it is compromising the moral authority of that particular party. If Aam Aadmi Party criticizes, let's say, BJP for 2002 Gujarat riots, BJP has nothing to come back. It's a clean party. So maybe Indian youth is looking for such kind of an alternative without any baggage. Okay, and the destruction that happens is while you are doing all the good work, 10% wrong things you say in the name of communalism or hijab controversy and all these things, even that has to be held accountable. So there is no opposition party in the country to hold that as an accountability. And criminalization of politics will also play a role. For example, certain South Indian chief ministers, states chief ministers cannot even speak against BJP. Why? They have a lot of cases pending against them. So the moment someone in Maharashtra government opens their mouth, ED will do the rights. Okay, or West Bengal, somebody will go for the rights. So using centralization, central investigation agencies for diluting the media. So all these things will play a role, and you won't understand any of these things because you are occupied with prelims. Yes or no? As long as you don't clear prelims, you won't even understand the depth. Why you need to learn all these things. The summary is clear prelims. Okay, one day you will appreciate whatever we are discussing. Till or else you will feel bored only. Only God can save you, right? So, any other articles? What are the acts that are covered under National Green Tribunal, Pratyusha?
Forest Act 1980. Air pollution. Water Act.
What are not covered? Santosh, what are not covered under National Green Tribunal? Asking or saying?
Protection Act is jurisdiction.
Anything else? Umang, what are the principles that guide National Green Tribunal? Suman? Frameworks? Under which principles does National Green Tribunal work? All of you understand Telugu? Yes, except you. Okay, unfortunate victim. I should find someone who knows good idioms in Hindi. పుట్టికెక్కలేనమ్మ స్వర్గానికి. Do you know? What does that mean?
Basics.
Hmm.
Shouldn't test. Prelims is the very part.
Assuming that you will clear prelims is a very far reach because it's romanticization, right? I will do the basics. Okay, I will clear prelims. That means leaving the ground and jumping to the sky. It's one way to understand without wings. So how many days are left for prelims? 86 days. So leaving today, 85 days are left for prelims. So 85 days before prelims, you don't know what is NGT. NGT might have been in the news for 1,000 times. And do you classify it as current affairs or static part? So what did I tell you that one day I took a 1 hour class for known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns? Yes. So what does that mean? You are missing woods for the trees. What are the military exercises that are between India and Japan?
It's GMX, JIMX.
JIMAX. Okay. Okay. What percentage of uranium enrichment is considered as safe? After which level it is considered as, weapons grade uranium? Why should we discuss that?
Trying to make one
Yeah.
nuclear waste.
In Kundankulam, we will discuss more about this, heavy water reactors, whether India is converting thorium into uranium or and all those things. In JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, there is an upper limit for Iran. Iran cannot enrich uranium beyond a certain point. So that is where this uranium enrichment will come into the picture. Okay, so that is the first clause of JCPOA. Now, why is JCPOA important for UPSC? It is not only important for UPSC, it is important for Indian point of view. Why? If JCPOA is again back into the action, India will have better energy security from Iran. And the world needs more energy now, more oil. So if Russia is out, so we should look for alternatives. That is either Venezuela or Iran. So if Iran and America makes peace, it is good for countries like India, where we can get more oil. So for that, JCPOA has to be back into the place. And JCPOA have a condition. What is that condition? Iran cannot enrich uranium beyond a certain point. Okay. Again, prelims questions like fission and fusion.
I didn't understand the link, sir. Like if Iran is allowed to enrich the uranium, then how it is helping Indian energy security?
Up to 20%. If Iran is enriching only up to 20%, then JCPOA will be back in action. That means sanctions will be removed against Iran. See, JCPOA is what? Where Iran and USA are working together. Not having JCPOA is they are enemies.
Okay.
So if JCPOA is back, they are friends. They are friends means they have zero sanctions. Zero sanctions means
India can trade.
India can trade. Right now, it is not properly happening, right? So that is something that we have to understand. So everything is interconnected. So when you go to mains hall, the same question will come. What are the relations between India and India and Iran natural partners? Critically analyze or comment. First of all, we need to know what is happening between Iran and India, and you won't have any content. Then you will drag USA to fill the slot. Okay. So what type of reactor is used in Kundankulam, or what type of reactors are normal for India?
Fission reactor.
Ever heard about fast breeder reactors? What are they? Okay, tell me something about Indian coal, or everything you know about Indian coal.
Indian coal has high percent of ash content.
Hmm.
It is bitumen,
Hmm.
moisture content is high.
It is bitumen. Then
Since it is important coal mines are situated at Jharkhand and West Bengal region, and the lignite is situated at Salem in
Tamil
Tamil
Nadu.
Nadu.
Mhm.
And still, more than 60% of our India's energy dependency is upon coal,
Mhm.
and we import
We import coal. Okay.
and in the COP26 meeting,
Hmm.
India has decided to become 50% renewable energy, shifting from reducing its dependency on the fossil fuels that is coal.
By
2030.
did we promise that Panchamrit principles are for 2030?
Yes.
Did we say that we will reduce our coal dependency?
Not in terms of coal dependency, sir. We said in terms of renewable energy.
From 40% we made it 50%.
In Panchamrit principles.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is present India's energy mix?
Least is nuclear.
What is the ratio between renewable and non-renewable in India's energy mix?
60% non-renewable. We are dependent on coal, sir. 40% installed capacity
Is coming from renewable energy
sources.
sources. Within that, which is higher, wind or solar?
Solar.
Solar. Okay. Yes. If more FDI is coming to the country, will it affect rupee?
Yes, sir. We will strengthen.
Rupee will strengthen. If more FDI is coming to the country, will rupee strengthen?
So more dollars coming into the market.
I think 40.1% is non-renewable energy. So government of India, PAB lo undi ఒకసారి check చేసుకోండి. So we have moved away into 40%. INDC targets have been met by India. So now more than 40% of energy is coming from non-renewable sources. 60% is coming from fossil-based sources. Now coming back, what was the question?
FDIs.
FDI. So that should not even be a discussion, right? When FDI comes into the picture, it will affect the rupee positively. More FDI means rupee will get strength. Rupee will get more stronger. If FDI is leaving the country, it will make the rupee weaker. Right now, what is happening?
FDIs are leaving, sir. Foreign portfolio investors are leaving.
Hmm.
So the rupee is depreciating.
Mhm. Increasing in oil prices will affect rupee.
Yes, sir. Because we have to shell out more dollars outside.
Mhm. Okay. Santosh, what is skewflation? Srinivas, what is skewflation? Sorry? It is disinflation. I asked you a question, you are asking me one more question. That is stagflation. When GDP is slowing down or stagnant while inflation is very high, that is stagflation. We are stagnant plus inflation is high. That is stagflation. I asked you skewflation. Is there such thing called as skewflation?
So
What is it?
in a basket of commodities,
Mhm.
only one commodity is showing inflation.
Mhm.
That is called as skewflation.
Do we have skewflation in India?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what factors are affecting it?
Supply side.
So then it is, supply side inflation, right? How is it skewflation?
It's because of oil.
Sector based. Well, like there's an inflation in one sector, whereas other sector is.
Inflation in one sector, other sector is doing fine. That is called as skewflation. So if we see in skewflation in India, what items will be the reason?
Petrol.
Hmm.
Energy.
Food and fuel.
Yes.
Food and fuel will be the basic reasons. Okay. Sure. That is core inflation, right?
I'm not
Yeah,
That's
no.
not core inflation.
But actually,
Food and fuel is core inflation.
No.
No. Headline inflation. Okay. Core inflation is excluding
food
food
and
and
fuel.
fuel. Okay. How many of you know 15th Finance Commission, including online people? So when you look at this particular term, gross state domestic product, okay, can you link it to Finance Commission? Anything linked to Finance Commission and gross state domestic product, does that come to your mind? Clue, hint, formulas. Gross state domestic product and income distance. There is a concept called as income distance. Yes. What is income distance?
Yes, sir.
We take Haryana as the meter, sir,
Why Haryana?
because it has got high per capita.
That is not how it works. State with the highest gross state domestic product will be taken. Then it will be compared with other things. For example, this time Telangana is having 16% growth. Then Telangana will be compared to the rest of the states. That is income distance. Income distance means the distance of the highest state domestic product versus other states. So that is a formula in 15th Finance Commission. Yes. It's among 15th Finance Commission formula. You know the bug. Yes. 15th Finance Commission formula. No idea. With percentages is such. By the way, no one answered. Yes.
Income distance is per capita GDP, GSDP over 3 years, sir, according to 15th Finance Commission.
15th Finance Commission, yes. I mean, the state with the highest GSDP, right?
Per capita.
Okay.
So that's not,
Mhm,
I think
no.
per capita, not only GSDP, GSDP per capita.
Per capita for last 3 years average.
3 years average.
So right now, which state is being taken as a benchmark?
Sir, when they wrote the report, it was Haryana. I don't know current, sir.
Okay. I mean, it will change from year to year, right? So even Bihar has a very good GSDP growth. Okay. Yes. By the way, no one answered that question. NGT, which principles? Is there an act for NGT?
Yes, sir.
But does NGT have an act? I mean, does it mention any principles? Which principle? So what should you do? Principle of
Polluter pays.
natural justice. NGT works on the principles of natural justice. Okay, it does not work under any particular act. There is no provision. It works on the principle of natural justice. Whether you know answers to all these questions, yes or no. If you don't know, what should you do? So if you take the newspaper, you must have come to the consensus right now that all you have to do is make a list of 150 topics and master those 150 topics. And of the 150 topics, 90 topics will be from static areas. So even after 4 or 5 months of preparation, if you're still facing issues in the basic questions, let's say NGT, principle of natural justice, then within NGT, which act which act is covered, which act is not covered. That is value addition. Chalo, at least you don't know that, but at least basics you should know. Or one day you learned about NGT, National Green Tribunal. Okay, next day you learned about principle of natural justice. Third day you will learn about something. So even that directionality is not there, right? You're randomly preparing for the sake of preparing. Yes, it is not going to help you. You know, you should be like that sun and magnifying glass. What will magnifying glass do? It will concentrate all the energy of the sun and put it at one point. So that magnifying glass for you is either newspaper or PYQ. Both will help you to focus all your energies. Yes. For example, BPA. What is BPA? When I say BPA, the moment I open my mouth and say BPA, as a UPSC aspirant, what is the most probable interlink? See, if I go to the outside world and say CSAT, nobody will understand what is CSAT, right? But if I talk to a UPSC aspirant, when I say CSAT, if you're a serious aspirant, where will your mind go into? It's a prelims paper 2 in the afternoon, whatever maths, English, reasoning, that is CSAT. But the actual exam, entire prelims name is CSAT. No, civil service aptitude test. The entire, okay, technical. So in the same way, as a UPSC aspirant, if I say BPA, what is the first thing that should come to your mind? Let's say Mission Indradhanush. The moment I say Mission Indradhanush, as a serious aspirant, where will your mind go to? Immunization. Okay. Or I can also go for power sector reforms. There is also one Indradhanush there. Mission Indradhanush means vaccination. 12 vaccines are covered under Mission Indradhanush. In the same way, BPA. Santosh? 13 people are online, except me 11. So anyone from online? BPA? Vikramaditya? Narayan? Bhuvishri? Anupya? Why should you even know that? Why? BPA. Huh? I know I am getting BP, but not BPA. Why? Sir, what is full form of BPA? This is 2021 prelims paper. Bicephalon. వద్దులేండి. Yes. Why should you know that? Every time when you get a cover for your mobile phone or something, or you buy a Tupperware, they will say BPA free. Yes, this plastic bottle is supposed to be made free from BPA. So if it's a Tupperware, they will mention it's a BPA free. If you are buying a normal bottle, it's not BPA free. BPA is a health hazard, right? So what kind of plastic is used for creating a single-use plastic? Which is the most popular plastic in the world?
Polythene.
Polythene. What is it called as technically? Polyethylene. That is the most popular plastic. Okay. Which is the most used plastic in the world? PVC. Okay. So will prelims questions come from static part? Sorry, related to plastic? Is India doing anything for plastic? Recently, did UNEP come to come together to create a global consensus against plastic. What are the provisions of plastic waste management rules in India? Yes. What is the meaning of the symbol REC1 on your plastic bottles?
Can recycle this.
It should be recycled immediately. It's a single use plastic. Yes. So what is the difference? In the last, see, that is 2021 paper. If you haven't done the previous papers till 1995, 96, you don't remember, totally fine. 2021 paper, just 6 months ago, the exam have happened. October, November, December, January, February.
It might be linked, but if you said bisphenol A, I would have remembered. So BPA, I would not. I could not recall.
Exactly, that is what UPSC has asked you. I will show you the reason why I said only BPA, AS2. Will you call UPSC and say what is the full form of AS2? Why didn't you mention AS2? There are so many aces. Cricket also have an ace, tennis also have a deuce. So you can keep on arguing, right? But when the question came AS2, HACE2, it was in the news. What is HACE? HACE was in the news this year. After the prelims, in the last 4 months, HACE was in the news. Right? Then UPSC mains, there was a question. There are 4 adverbs in your preamble. Are they relevant to the world today? Are they relevant in India today? That was the mains question.
Yes, sir.
Will you say that, sir, they didn't say sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic? Why will UPSC say that to you? So instead of dragging UPSC to our level, what should we do? We should rise to UPSC level. Yes or no? Discuss it adjective to the word attached to the word republic in the preamble. So then, sir, I don't know what is adjective. What will you say that? That is your common sense, right? You are assuming that much I will know. So when I say BPA, that is my common sense. That much you should know. Yes. Then tomorrow they will give Article 136. Then how do you know? You know that much I will know exactly. In UPSC there is no such thing as small detail. Everything you should know because it's a previous year question. Yes. Yesterday Ken Bethwal link I have asked you.
Yes, sir.
In which plateau? Malwa plateau. Odisha comes under which plateau? Northern part is under
The coastal region of Odisha and Bengal are called as northern Sarkar.
Northern Sarkar. Okay. Northern Sarkar is a plateau.
No, sir.
But
I said that it would come under the Deccan Plateau.
Center Odisha is under Deccan Plateau.
no, sir, it borders with Jharkhand also. That place, that is Chotanagpur Plateau, because a lot of bauxite mining happens there.
So Chotanagpur Plateau plus Deccan Plateau is Odisha. More or less. What about Hyderabad?
Deccan Plateau.
Hyderabad is proper Deccan Plateau. Sure.
Sure, sir.
What about Rayalaseema region?
Deccan Plateau.
So are there any prelims question related to such types? What was the question? What is the answer to that question? B for Bombay. Okay. You can throw a stone. It's free. Five is correct. You are from that place. So you know why. Okay. So Umang is from Hyderabad. No Deccan Plateau. I don't know the answer. Lavanya, answer Andy. Suman?
B, sir.
Bombay. Why? You know all the things are correct. The answer is C. Only 2 and 5 are correct. See, we can do one thing. Either we can eliminate 4. If we eliminate 4, the answer will obviously be C. Okay. Or I will take 5. If 5 is not there, I will eliminate A. Then I will struggle to eliminate the rest of the things. Okay. So the simplest way to get this answer is eliminate 4. Nasik. Nasik is in
Vidarbha.
Maharashtra. Malwa Plateau is where?
In the central part.
Madhya Pradesh and Bundelkhand. Just now we have discussed Malwa Plateau, Ken Betwa linkage. So Nasik has nothing to do with Malwa. If I know that much, I will eliminate. Or Bundelkhand region is where?
Uttar Pradesh.
You can eliminate through that process also. Or you can do one thing. You can say Om Sai Ram and Namo Venkatesaya. Only 2 and 5 are God places. The rest are not religious places. Okay. So instead of using that, the simplest way is to eliminate 4. No? I will show you one more question. How simple common sense will help you in UPSC. Just keep the answer with you. We will see others. Santosh, what is the answer? Answer is B. Not A.
A, sir.
A is the answer.
Yes.
B is the. I guess it's B, sir.
Right?
Sir, Narmada from Amarkantak till Arabian Sea. So, and Mahanadi has a very from Raipur to
Odisha.
Srinivas? A. The answer is actually B. Bombay. Godavari, Narmada, Mahanadi, Tapi. Normally, see, if you don't know the question, we will always see the geography map, right? Narmada is a smaller river. We always assume that. but our intuitions are always wrong. So knowing the factual data will help you. And how will what is the elimination technique that will work here? First elimination technique. In this question also we will use common sense first. So what options will you remove outrightly?
C.
Outrightly. You'll remove.
Yes, sir, because Suvarnarekha is obviously above, Mahanadi is way below.
I think first we can eliminate B and D also. Let's assume I don't know the other rivers. What will I do? Krishna is below Godavari. So what is he saying? Krishna first, Godavari later. As a South Indian, as someone from Telugu states, that is one thing you can do. So options B and D are eliminated. Then you are left with A and C, right? So the answer is A. If you know it factually, see again, at least you can come to 50-50, right? At least by doing B and D, you can come to 50-50. So 50-50 questions should be attempted. So this is something you have to do. There is no other shortcut. Yes. So again, as I said, doing previous questions or reading newspapers is not something that you do for fun or I come here daily to teach you. It is a process. Yes. So are you doing PYQs in this way? Or are you doing PYQs to know whether answer is A or B?
We have suggested the vision material, sir,
Hmm.
for the previous year.
Hmm.
That is working. well, sir.
Hmm. So how is it helping you?
Then I'm checking the answer, and if it is wrong, I'm checking the explanation.
Explanation is fine.
Very nice.
So how does that? How will it help you?
It saves a lot of time, sir.
Mhm.
And own research
Hmm.
time would be saved.
Value addition is being done.
Yes. And after seeing that explanation, if we feel like more is to be, I should read,
Hmm.
then we can
Hmm.
go and pick those ends.
Okay. Got it? So are you doing the previous questions in this way?
So like I'm first answering by myself.
Hmm.
Then seeing the
Hmm.
whether it is correct or not, and then explanation.
So you should add value rather than just know whether the answer is correct or not. You should add more value. That means if you take BPA is just a tip of the iceberg. BPA is just the starting of the plastic topic. Then you should know everything that is happening to plastics in this particular year. Is India joining a convention? Had it amended any rules? What microns are allowed in the plastic covers? Single-use plastics? Any solutions to single-use plastic? What are nature-based solutions? Right? What is extended polluter responsibility? Does it cover plastic? Okay, so the entire package of plastic has to be covered. So rather than reading 10,000 things, your focus should be very narrow. Then the growth will happen automatically. Okay.
But where do we get all this data, sir? Like
Simply magazine. I told you, right? Create a single PDF from 2021 January till date. All the magazines available, you club them into one lengthy single PDF. Use your tab or mobile to search. Like plastic, every time you see plastic, associated topic will be there, right? So plastic e-waste, plastic recycling, government schemes. So it will take 1 hour, but it's totally worth because you are focusing in a direction where India is moving towards. India wants to eliminate single-use plastic. That will help you in both prelims and mains preparation. So See, what will you do after clearing flames? You will climb the DFI building and shout, I cleared flames. Yay. Then you have to write answers also, right? For that, at least you should have some amount of knowledge. So consolidate your preparation, combine everything, and it will make more sense. Okay, fine. So we'll continue the discussion tomorrow. It seems the atmosphere is warm. There is change in weather. Yes. Thank you.